Hey, what's up everyone? Squirrely here. Thank you so much for joining me as always. So in today's video, we're going to get back to some TF2 trading story time. So a lot of you really like my stories that I've done before because I've been in trading pretty much since the very beginning. 7 or 8 years ago now. It seems like it just flew by. It's crazy. But back when keys were like 2 or 3 ref. So I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. I've experienced a lot. So many crazy stories. I couldn't write them all down, but I feel like they're really wasted just sitting in my head. It's kind of like talking to your grandpa or someone who like served in the World War or went through something crazy like the Great Depression. Like you kind of want to talk to them and live through their stories, whether it's something new and exciting or it's nostalgic. So whether you're a newer trader, an old school trader, or just someone interested in general in TF2, I think this is a very interesting story. I want to review it with you guys today because for me, I like to collect nice things. I collected exquisite racks for a long time, but there's one set, my original dream set, that I had a chance to get a long time ago. I missed it. It's a huge regret of mine. It's super painful to bring up and remember, but I figured I would share it with you guys because at the end of the day, it is a really interesting story to tell, and it's been a great investment for this person, and it could have been me. It did end up being me, so I will tell you the story of the triple bat exquisite rack set, my dream set that I missed out on, but hey, at least I get a great story out of it. Like I said earlier, I've been in the TF2 trading scene for many years, but I started off like everyone else. A lot of people just recognize me or see me as this guy, you know, the exquisite rack guy, and had like a top 15 backpack and all this super expensive fancy stuff. But I started off like everyone else, low tier trading, you know, scrap banking, all that stuff, and I eventually slowly worked my way up, found different niches that were profitable, and kind of made a name for myself, whether it was with spell trading. I had a huge collection of spells, then I moved on to lower tier hats. I used to flip Australians, professional kits a lot, and at one time, I kind of got bored of trading and god tier stuff, so I figured I need to collect something cool. I started playing more soldiers, so I really got into collecting the exquisite rack for the soldier. So I just personally thought the exquisite rack looked really cool. It was a hat, you know, some competitive players like Vanny Ward, also, you know, Robin Walker used to sport the exquisite rack. So I just thought it looked really cool in general, and it gave a lot of personality to the soldier. And then on top of that, it was a miscellaneous, so you could wear 3 of them at a time, which made it really rare. And it just made sense to me. If I can wear 3 of these at the same time, I don't have to worry about buying different goofy hats I don't like, or seeing what effects are available and equip regions. I can just buy 3 hats I really like, combine the effects, and make some really cool looking effects. So that's what I did. I would slowly start collecting these. But what's really fun is that every time we'd get an update, back when we used to get updates more often, there would be new effects. So maybe it was summer, there'd be new unusual effects, or Halloween. So this is back in 2013. I believe it was Scream Fortress 5. For some reason, the unusuals that came out that year all became extremely rare, extremely popular, and expensive, but you didn't know it at the time. That's, you know, hindsight is always 20/20. It's easy to, you know, look back and say, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. But at the time, no one knew. We just knew that, hey, these effects look pretty cool, but we don't know, is there other new effects that are better? Is it going to be new effects later that come out? So usually newer effects are pretty cheap and kind of unpopular. This was the first year really for Halloween effects that people loved them. They jumped on them right away, but people were still trading them. We expected more would be unboxed. We expected newer unusuals to come out. We had no idea that, you know, this year of Halloween effects, for whatever reason, was going to be like the cream of the crop and you should hold on to them. So that's what happened to me. I missed out because eventually someone, I'll put his picture and his profile up here, collected all 3 exquisite racks. He collected all of them with the 3 different bat effects. Now, I had seen them individually and I thought they looked cool, but I had never seen them all together until I saw this and I was like, oh my god, these are gorgeous. They are so bright and beautiful and colorful. They're burning and they're super active. You know, they have a super long trail behind them. So as far as unusuals go, it kind of checks all the boxes. So this is back in the day, way back when there was TF2 Outpost and it was very popular and active, and you could see people's offers. So the guy that originally had these for sale was selling them for 500 keys each, but he wanted to sell them as a set. So if you were to buy them as a set, he would give you a small discount. So instead of being 1,500 keys, you would get them for 1,400 keys. So that puts the price of each rack at about 466 keys. At the time, that was extremely high. I think back then, some of the god tier hats were like 250 keys, maybe 300, and I believe burning at the time was maybe 300 keys. So anything above that is like, are you crazy? This is not above burning. Burning is number 1. Burning is god tier, right? That was kind of the only thing we had to judge and rank other effects because there just wasn't as many effects back then. So I contacted the guy, and I wanted to get a good deal because I'm a trader. I want to flip it for a profit. Even if I'm going to buy it and enjoy it for a while, I eventually want to get some profit out of it. And I don't know, I'm playing conservative. Like, are there going to be more unboxed? Is the price going to drop? Is this going to be unpopular effect? Like, there's so many uncertainties when there's a new effect coming out there. So I talked to the guy, I added him, he knew I was a collector. I told him I would pay more, you know, than he thinks, but he was really firm on his prices. Like, he would not wiggle at all. So what he was doing at the time was just kind of collecting offers and seeing what people would bid, which is a smart thing to do. You kind of put up an auction and, hey, whoever makes the highest bid, I sell to you. And some people would do that with TF2 Outpost. So anyways, I'm talking to him in Steam chat. I remember it to this day. He's like, what's the highest you can go? And I'm thinking, okay, 300 is the highest I can go. You know, what would you do for 300 each? And he's like, no, way too low. And I'm like, too low? I just offered you 300 keys each. That's a burning rack for each one. I'm like, okay, 350, final offer. This is crazy. I'm offering way too much. This is a new effect. You know, no one knows if it's going to be God tier or not. And he's like, okay, thanks. I'll think about it. And I believe it was later that day or a different day. I don't remember exactly. But he came back and said, hey, dude, I finally sold it. You know, thanks for bidding, but I just want to let you know they're gone. You know, good luck with all your trades, yada, yada, yada. And I said, you know, just for curiosity, what did you sell them for? He's like, I sold them for exactly what I thought it would. He got 466 keys each, which is, you know, 1,400 keys in total. And I remember thinking, there is no way. Who is crazy enough to do this? To overpay that much for this rack? I mean, that just put the burning rack to shame by like well over 100 keys at the time. So that's just outrageous. It's crazy. And I remember thinking like, wow, good job, dude. I'm happy for you. You know, there's no hard feelings. Whenever someone makes a good trade, they get what they want and they make some profit. I'm happy for you. So I was happy for the guy, but I also remember thinking, that's crazy. Like, whoever paid for this much is insane. I'm gonna find these for cheaper. I'm gonna get a better deal or whatever. I have some other plan. I'm sure I can get my hands on these, but that ended up not being the case, because the guy who bought these exquisite racks and bought all three of the bats ended up eventually becoming the #1 backpack in all of TF2. Yes, and this person is a collector. They buy everything with cash or keys, and they never list anything for sale, ever. Now, if it wasn't bad enough that I had missed my opportunity to get my dream set, like my original dream set for Soldier, you know, this is one of the first times I had seen a triple effect, triple unusuals in game that kind of took my breath away. And I had to step back like, wow, that is gorgeous. It's colorful, it's burning, it's bright. You know, especially for me as a soldier, flying around all over the place and having this big trail behind you, it just kind of checked all the boxes that made it a beautiful God tier triple set. And I was really excited to get it, to actually own it. Now, I wanted to flip it for profit eventually. I had no idea these would all become one of ones, but in my mind, I just want to be proud to have it, to own it, to, you know, just say that you went for it and you got it, and hopefully, you know, the price would go up later. But I had no idea that not only was this my only chance to get these hats, but that the price would absolutely skyrocket. Like I said before, these racks were sold for 466 keys each, or 1,400 keys total for all three. And if you look on backpack.tf, that's still what they're worth. That is the price on backpack.tf, because they have never been listed or sold since that day. They have been locked away in a backpack, which is funny because now each rack would go for 5 or 6 times the total of all three racks for each rack. So back then, 466 keys each sounded like a lot. Now I could easily see these going for at least 2,000 keys each, maybe even 3,000 keys each, which would bring the total from, what is that, 6,000 to 9,000 keys for this triple set. And maybe there's another crazy collector who would pay 10,000 keys total to get all three of them. So that would mean at the time these were last sold for $466 each. That means the owner paid about $2,600, maybe $2,700 combined for all the three racks. But now on the new price, these could easily go for over $11,000, maybe up to $17,000, even $20,000 for all three of these racks. Sounds insane, but there are people out there, there are collectors who money does not matter. They want the one of one. They're going to hold it and pay whatever it takes. So I would say, you know, lower end, $11,000 for all three of these racks. Higher end, somewhere between $17,000, maybe even $20,000. So I don't know about you guys, but I love TF2. I love trading. I love the nicer, finer things of TF2. I mean, I've had a golden pan, I've had god tier sets, I've had really high tier combos and unusuals and weapons and skins. I've pretty much had anything I've ever wanted as far as high tier things. I collected and traded my way up for it, but there's a limit. There's no way in my mind, even for my favorite triple bat set, I would ever pay $17,000, $18,000, $20,000. Like, there's just no way. I don't think I'd even pay 10 personally, because I would rather take that 10,000, 20,000, whatever it takes in the stock market and let that baby grow, or buy a house and flip it, or, you know, buy a car on sale and fix it up and flip it. Like, there's so many other things you could do with that much money. That's my limit. I've spent a lot of money in TF2. If I know I can flip it for a profit and it makes sense on paper, I will do it. But that's a lot of money to be thrown in some pixels, even for this god tier triple bat set. Alright gamers, well that is going to wrap it up for me on this episode of Trading Storytime, reviewing my chance that I blew to obtain the triple bats, the 1 of 1 set that I thought were just beautiful, and I really wish I would have gone for it, pushed a little bit harder, but I made a good decision at the time. I had no idea later these would skyrocket in price and remain 1 of 1s, but now I would like to hear from you guys down below in the comments. Let me know, how much do you think this set will actually sell for, if it ever goes up for sale, if this guy ever eventually cashes out or changes games, if he puts them up, how much do you think these 3 bats will actually sell for, because it could be a new record and all these racks could be repriced for something ridiculous and we're back to where we were before, setting new records. I have no idea, but I would like to hear from you guys down below. How much do you think these racks will sell for if they ever do? And of course, since this is YouTube, you guys know the drill. If you like my content and you want some more super easy to show your support, just hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already, and share it for a friend, maybe if they're into trading and this kind of stuff. And don't forget, I have a Steam group. That's where I post all my new videos, so you get notified right away and do giveaways and fun stuff like that, because we are on the road to 20K subscribers. Definitely want to do a fat giveaway and celebrate with you guys. But until then, have a great one. Hope to see you guys in game, either in casual or in Uncletopia. There's 2 servers, LA now and San Francisco. I'm usually in one of those servers, so maybe I'll run into you in then. But have a good one. See you next video. Peace.
Spy, I need to work your stuff. Get a spy of me, get ready.